Well, hi, I'm Scott, and welcome to Project Dumpster Fire. Behind me is our first project, a 1966 Honda 305 Scrambler, otherwise known as a CL77. Now, she's rough, but we can do this. We're going to tear her down completely, and go through each part, restore it, put it back together, and get it on the road, and then we're going for a ride. Hey everybody, welcome to Project Dumpster Fire. My name is Scott. This is a 1966 Honda CL77 305 Scrambler. It's a mess. We got work to do. Let me take you for a tour. Alright, just up on the lift. Let's see what we can see. So starting right here, first thing I'll tell you, I see that the shocks are dented pretty excellently right there. Lots of rust. So what you can see here is that the chain is worn out. So this is the absolute furthest out adjustment it can be. A new chain will be closer to the first one, maybe between the first and second one, but never that far out. So it's going to need a new chain. Not a big deal, but things to look for, you know. This exhaust is wrong. It actually should be a Scrambler style exhaust. It's a high exhaust on the other side. I have that exhaust, so I'll be putting that on. So you can start to see evidence that things have happened with this bike. So if you look at this brake pedal here, you can see it's missing half the brake pedal. All right, all here should be the rest of the pedal. From up above, you can see how narrow it is. There's not much to it. It's about a finger width wide, not even that. So this bike's been down and ground down. And the reason I can tell that it was ridden afterwards is, if you look here, you can see where the actual lever has been moved out on the splines. It shouldn't be this far out, and it has a lovely amount of slop in it because of that. So that's evidence there. We're missing the rubber off the foot peg. The engine's completely locked up. So I've used several different kinds of sauce. I used ATF and acetone. I used PB Blaster. I used a whole bunch of different stuff, and none of it worked. So this thing is locked up tight. I don't think it's in the top end. I think it's in the bottom end, or we might have a timing chain issue or something. So we'll be getting the motor out and taking a look at that. It's going to need a full rebuild one way or the other. So it seems fairly complete. Carburetors are there. We are missing the choke linkage that would connect this choke here with the choke on the other carburetor that you can see sticking up over there. So I'll be putting that on the list of things to find or make. So we're looking at a Honda twin cylinder from 1966. These were very popular sort of street / dirt bikes at that time. Drum brakes, front and rear. We have a good bit of seepage here from the, I guess, the bearing / speedometer drive, so we'll need to clean that up and see if there's a seal inside that we can fix and deal with that. A good bit of rust everywhere, but the forks are straight. The tank has seen better days, way better days. This is a badge, actually, that should say Honda Motorcycles or HM, but it's roach from the sun. Seat's pretty good. Side covers are pretty good. Let's take a look on the other side. Just a very classic, old school looking motorcycle. So you can see the tank here has some fairly significant damage, and the inside is rusted beyond all extraction. It's not going to get better. Handlebars are bent also on the other side, which is another sign it's been down. Other things you can look for are ground down pegs, ground down controls, broken controls. It is complete, minus a battery. Again, the exhaust is junk. I have other exhausts. We're going to need to replace the tires on it, obviously. Not only are they small, but they're pretty old. This thing hasn't been on the road since 1979. So we're going to get to all of that. We're going to take this thing completely apart. We're going to clean everything, paint everything, rebuild everything, and put it back together, because who doesn't like a nice, freshly rebuilt motorcycle? I know I'd like to ride one. And yeah, so we're going to be doing that. So let's get started. So just looking at it a little bit closer, a little bit further, you can see where it was pushing oil out the exhaust before it finally died. That's not good. So my thought on this bike, honestly, is that it was run down the highway at a super high rate of speed until it finally locked up. Unexpected melted pistons and just roached, I'm sure. So we'll be getting into that. And it's good to look at this thing from every angle. This is cool here. This is a toolbox, actually, that you have. I don't know if it'll open. Yeah, there it goes. Toolbox that you had on. Oh, well, something's in here too. Oh, look at this. We got the registration, the original registration. One of the original. Expires when? 1978. Wow, that's cool. I'd love to track down some of the original owners of this. The guy I got it from is a guy who was into these bikes. This was not one that he ever rode. He bought it to fix up and just didn't. So looking here at the engine, I can see we're missing some bolts. That means it's been apart and somebody didn't like what they saw, slapped it back together and put it up for sale. That's what I think. And I don't think it was the guy I got it from because he was a pretty honest guy. But you start looking at it, you start seeing stuff like, yeah, that's finger tight. Shouldn't be able to pull bolts out like that. This is not good. So we're gonna pull it apart and we're gonna get it done. It's gonna be good times. Stick with me and you'll see all the fun. So yeah, she's a dumpster fire, but she's got potential. Stick around and let's make her brand new again. I can't wait to go for a ride.